Okay, hi. This is a training for what each component of the lesson plan and teaching strategies looks like. This one here, we're going off of the exercise study. So this is the when you do exploring the topic, that's the introductory week for the topic. Um, so let's scroll up. So you see here it says choice time and it has different activities in here: library, music and movement, discovery, library again. So choice time is really like a time where the children can choose. It's kind of like centers, and the children will choose what kind of activities they would like to do. Usually, the activity that they highlight in here is something that you can kind of facilitate and kind of ask questions during the time of while they're playing in this area. So for instance, library, children explore a collection of books featuring exercise. So you may find some books that in your library that are, about jumping or about, movement or things like that. And then you can, sit with the child and talk about, the features of the book or what kind of exercises they see in the book. What are the children doing in the book? Things like that. That could also be you coming over with some of the books that are highlighted in the exercise study. And then, so that is also teacher, because they're teacher books, that's also giving the children a chance to see different types of books with guidance from you. So that is what choice time is. Large group, this is kind of like a circle time. You can still do your regular, color shapes, all those things. But in this time, we kind of focus in on a specific topic or question to discuss with the kids. So, like exercising, look at photos of people exercising in different ways and talk about how exercise is good for the body. So that would be what the discussion would be about. And you can ask open ended questions to the children about, what do you see in the photos? Um, why do you think exercise is good for the body? What other things can we do to make sure that our body is strong and our body is healthy? So this is the time in large group. So that's usually around the circle time. The read aloud. So you'll see here on the read aloud, it has the happiest tree, a yoga story. So I think that is, I don't have it right near me, but, and you see it says book discussion card. So within the studies, there are books that they give you, and they give you discussion cards to kind of guide you in what to talk about within the book, so looking at some of the vocabulary, asking open-ended questions to the children. You see here it says first read aloud. So when you do your read alouds, sometimes you'll see like here, this book comes up 3 times this week. But the first time you read it, you're going to just do a walkthrough of the book, the pictures, and have the children talk about what they see. The second time you read it, you can actually read it and then talk about vocabulary they hear, all those things like that, asking questions, or still talking about what they see, but you're actually reading the book. And then the third time you read it, you're going to read for understanding, so, or comprehension. So they may not remember everything from the book, but you may ask, what do you think is going to happen next? Somebody might say, hey, I remember from the last time we read it, this happened, the tree grew, or something like that. Or what do you think is going to happen in the end of the book? Or before I open the book, what's the first thing that happens? So that you can see the comprehension piece of the read alouds. The small group. So small group usually can happen either after your choice time or sometimes during your choice time, depending on what the activity is. Um, so your small group here, there are intentional teaching cards that come with this. So um, this one for this day is rhyming riddles. So if you're on the digital copy of this, you can just click it and read what it says. But there are also cards that are associated with it as well. And then it'll explain to you like what exactly you can be doing. And in here, it'll put your different children in here of where they land and how you can do the activity differentiate the activities. So you may do it in this way with these children, but you may want to do something a little more if the children are in here, or if they're in the yellow or orange area, there may be, there's instructions here of how to do that activity to cater to the level of each child. Going back to this, so that's something you can do, like I said, during choice time, depending on the activity, or you can do after choice time with a small group. Um, there are outdoor activities they have. So a lot of these are physical activities, and they also are highlighted. So you can click this and you can see, they'll tell you what the different how to implement this activity. And actually, teaching strategies also right here, they do a video of how to do it. So once you're on the digital resources, you'll be able to look at all of those aspects as well. But for right now, there also are physical teaching cards for those as well. And this is just something you would do when you're doing your outdoor play. And when you get into the school year, as we're doing the summer now, but when you get into the school year, you'll be able to see, um, be able to use some of these things as documentation for your children throughout the year. So some of these activities, and in on the teaching cards, it'll let you know what kind of documentation you can pinpoint within these activities. This is something that kind of goes with in the school year, family partnerships. So it kind of just there, it'll be filled in here of ways that families can, you know, um, extend the lesson to home, things they can bring in, uh, if they wanted to come visit for a certain reason of, hey, I work in a gym or something like that. Those things would be within the family partnership. The WOW experiences are usually, when you get into the longer studies, they're experiences that the kids can do throughout the study or at the end of the study. So most of the time, it's like if you're at the end of the tree study, you may plant, flowers, or plant something, or make tree collages or something like that. That might be a WOW experience. In within the studies, or visiting a place where they grow trees, or like a nursery or things like that. Those are considered wild experiences. This individual child plan, that's if a child, you kind of want, you can put your children in here, and then you can pinpoint certain things you want to work on with them. So let's say the small group for that day is making my name, and you know that John is really proficient in making his name, so he's going to fly right through this. However, you know that Susan might not, she's still kind of learning her name. So in here, that would be your plan. You would give her that, work more with Susan in small group, making my name, on the first letter of her name or something like that. Those are the individual child plans. Here, you can kind of just add anything you want. Like if it's a holiday, you want to do like a Valentine's project, something like that, you can hand that in. Um, this is just the preparation you should do each day. These are questions you can ask, maybe when you first come in and you're doing your exercise, or first thing in the morning, a question that you can ask the kids, and and then you can document what their responses were. Um, these mighty minutes, these are transitional things you can do as well. They're little small cards. They look like this, and they are, on the cards. They tell you on the lesson plan what card you should use, and then on the cards it'll tell you this is also can be used as documentation, and it'll give you instructions of how to use this. So this is good when you're transitioning to, okay, we're getting ready to go outside, or we're getting ready to get into our choice time, from morning meeting or circle, or we're getting ready to transition to lunch. It kind of gets the kids focused on, okay, we're transitioning to the next thing. So those are something that you will use throughout the year. And then the large group roundup is just kind of at the end of the day, reflecting on what you learned that day. That can be a small thing that it doesn't have to be, it's pickup time by that time. So that can be even something while they're having snack, you have a conversation about what we talked about that day. So this kind of goes through all the aspects of the lesson plan and how that should be implemented throughout the day. Over here in this section, if you like have a field trip or something like that, or like how we will have trips in the summertime once a week, you can kind of add that. So add time of day, put that in like, hey, we're going on a field trip, or or you can delete something, or you can just put in here field trip and delete all of this because you probably won't get to it that day. Um, and that is it as far as the way that the lesson plan looks and its components. I hope this was helpful.